Yes, start. It is with great anguish and dismay that we write to you as the citizens of India and senior members of the bar. The Supreme Court has a pivotal constitutional role in protecting and safeguarding the fundamental rights and freedoms of the citizens of this country, and particularly the vast swathes of our population who eke out a living near or below the poverty line or minimum wage. The Supreme Court's constitutional role and duty assume even greater importance in the time of a crisis such as the present, when the entire country and its economy was locked down from March 24 by an order of the central government. More than 75% of the Indian workforce earn their livelihoods in the informal or unorganized sector, and for them, a stoppage of economic activity in the medium, small, and micro sectors has resulted in an immediate loss of livelihood and the means of sustenance. The lockdown was imposed on March 24 without any consideration being paid to the plight of these poor, especially migrant labor, earning their livelihood in the major cities and for whom social distancing was and is a utopian impossibility. These poor citizens were faced with the prospect of being cooped up in small cramped tenements, rooms, or on the pavements without any employment or livelihood, or even a def- definite source of food, and were thus compelled to start walking back to their home states, often thousands of kilometers away, with little children, family members, or elderly parents. They were forced to do so as the central government's lockdown had precluded them from taking trains or buses back to their hometowns. While hearing public interest litigation on the plight of the migrant workers, the Supreme Court considered the status report filed by the learned Solicitor General representing the Union of India, which referred to the government's circular dated March 29, prohibiting movement and transportation of migrant laborers and a direction to shift them to relief shelter homes and relief camps instead, and the Solicitor General's statement before this court that as of March 31 no migrant person was walking on the road in an attempt to reach his her home towns villages. The Supreme Court wide order dated 31/3/2020 expressed satisfaction at the steps taken by the Union of India to combat COVID 19 and proceeded to observe that the migration of laborers working in the cities was triggered by panic created by fake news that the lockdown would continue for more than 3 months. As a consequence of the court's failure to intervene, even though the number of COVID cases was only a few hundred at the time, the millions of migrant workers were unable to proceed to their hometowns. These enforced stay in cramped quarters only exposed poor workers to a higher risk of infection. Moreover, the government's statement has been clearly shown to be contrary to the facts. Several reports suggest that more than 90% of migrant workers did not receive government rations in many states and were suffering from dire food shortages. Will you stop?